a recent documentary on CNN, Immaculate Conception, where the doctor who was investigating, who was CIA, came down with the same symptoms. So it's kind of interesting. The doctors they hired that they are not even allowed to know.
Talk directly into that thing.
That they do not even know that we've been working on the same weapons, directed energy weapons, often referred to as mind control weapons. Chinese are working on them. The Russians and U.S. have had them for a long time. But dial-in lethality that is what's happening oftentimes for those that show mild traumatic brain injury. It can be done through cavitation effects using sound waves, highly unlikely in the Cuban embassy attacks. And it can be done through microwave-directed energy if it's amplified. In fact, there's something called the Frey effect. The Army had it on their website called V2K, and that's how a lot of people refer to it, that can pipe voices into someone's head. You can't plug your ears. It actually vibrates the brain, which is like many concussions, through the small pulses that expand the tissue and then contracts it, then goes to the inner ear where they can hear it. If you just turn that up, it causes brain damage. You're heating the brain. So there are a lot of ways, and a weapon, for example, that I think is reclassified now, but it was done at the University of Nevada as a non-lethal weapon that resonates the dopamine cells of your brain, producing cells of your brain, and it floods it. Now, it worked. The Air Force reclassified it.
Flood your brain with dopamine?
Yeah, dopamine dump. And that incapacitates the adversary in a non-lethal way. Not totally non-lethal, though. If you have too much neurotransmitter in your brain, it's a neurotoxin. It'll also cause brain damage. So brain damage can occur through these weapons that are non-lethal in many different ways. But if you cognitively model someone, you have a brain print, like a fingerprint, and if you use autocorrelation techniques, and there's a way, and we'll just kind of wave our hand, functional MRI that you can do at a distance over the earth, you have every human being's brain pattern. You can control 8 billion brains on the planet, potentially, read them. Pre-crime, I mean, you can imagine during warfare, it'd be useful for a number of objectives. So in that situation, you'd want it continuous, and you'd beam the entire earth over it. You're like a cell phone. Your brain is a circuit. So if you're dialed in, once you have a cognitive model, you would never be able to escape it under the magnetosphere or ionosphere. It's worldwide, and you can ask a number of people in every country, is it happening in your country? And they're just like the exact same symptomology. You can insert an external signal, sort of like hiving brains together.
Insert an external signal.
Yes, an electromagnetic signal. And how would you do that, you might ask? And the details get very complex. But there are several patents that you can access that talk about inserting a signal into the microcircuits and macrocircuits of the brain. Now, you got to know those patterns, the lock and key mechanism. Otherwise, it won't affect you. It will only affect the target brain if the brain print fits.
The brain print.
Yes, signature. Everyone has a unique one. And you ask, well, how do you broadcast this over the world? How do we talk to nuclear submarines? And why would you want to break down the ego of that person to rebuild it? So this gets into creating Manchurian candidates, split personality spies, and information couriers, people that will carry messages to other places without being aware that they're actually doing it. So you can imagine the misperception that is caused by this. And a lot of people, a lot of the targets, when they're interviewed, are tricked into believing evil aliens have abducted their brains. Demons.
They're tricked.
Yes.